Hi. Hello. Today we're going to be talking about exciting stuff. Okay, maybe not so exciting right now, but I promise it's going to build up and it's going to make our neurons snap. All right, let's start with, this is a class about lines and segments and rays and all good stuff, but we're going to start first with point. Point. Now, a point doesn't have any particular shape. It could be like that. Well, yes, it's kind of rounded, but as you see, mine isn't perfect. It doesn't have necessarily to be a particular size. A point is a point is a point. Now, what we do is name these points. And I'm going to name my point Melvin. But he's going to be represented by the letter M, because why not? So that's my point M, and what a point does, it's kind of a mixture between a street sign, because it's an identifying marker, and a stop sign. How does that come into play? I'm glad you asked. All right, Melvin, let's move you over. We have here, I want an exciting color, a line. And then on this line, we're going to put two arrowheads, right? Okay, now we bring in our points. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here. And I am going to I'm just going to come up with two random letters to name this. And I think we'll go with, how about we name this one G and O? That was completely random. All right, so this line has a point G and a point O. And that's what we're gonna call it. But more importantly, these little arrowheads right here, they mean that this line goes in both directions forever and ever and ever. It's like a ray of light. So that is what how this line works. And it's actually called, believe it or not, it's called a line. That's pretty easy to remember, right? Alrighty. So sometimes we have to write these and we have to represent them with letters. So what we do is we would write the G, the O, and then we would make a little line, a tiny little line above it. And that's how we would represent line G-O. All right, so now we got our line down pat. We have our point, we have our line. Let's talk about our next guest. Our next guest is line segment. Line segment. This guy has a name and a first name and a last name, right? Line segment. It's the only one that has two words. And this is actually a line. I love it when this board makes those lines so perfect. And on each end, instead of having an arrow that goes on forever and ever, we have 2 points. Yes. And those points represent that they stop right there. That's it. That's as far as they go. So we're going to give the points names, and this time, how about you see? Because I know you see the difference between these two. All right. I hope you find that as fun as I did. All right, so UC also has a representation when we write it, and it's actually a little line and the letters UC. You see? And that is a line segment. So we have our point, we have our line that goes on forever and ever, we have our line segment. What? There is more? There is absolutely more. Oh, I could use this one right here. Look how nice. Come here. Now, this one right here and me, we're on a first name basis. So this one here has, where's my blue? Has a point at the end, an arrow on the other side. And if now we know what a line is with the little arrows, we know what a line segment is with our points on the end. So, yep, we can gather that this stops right here. This is a stop sign. And on the other side, it goes forever and over. And of course, this could be pointing this way. It could be pointing that way. It could be pointing up or down. It's still, are you ready? He has a name. His name is Ray. That's how he likes to be called. Ray. And Ray is pretty cool. I think he is because it's a mixture of, combines all of them. It combines absolutely all of them. So if we want to represent Ray, and let's see, what color can we use here? We put point here and a point here. And what do we want to name this point? I would like to call it B. Let's go with BC. So this is Ray BC. And how is it represented? We make a little line and then we put the number under it. So I hope you've enjoyed this class. You have some handouts that I'd like you to complete because we have to become pretty well versed on these. One more time, we have a point, a line, the point marks, right, and identifies, GO, and that's the identification, line GO. We have our line segment. You see, we have the line segment, and that has a definite point on each side, and we represent it with a line, and you see underneath, and then finally the coolest, Ray, which has the best of both worlds. It goes on one side forever, on the other one, it stopped, and it's represented by a line and an arrow. Can't wait till we move on to the next. We'll be working on angles and later on parallels, and it's gonna be wonderful. Talk to you soon.